हरे कृष्णा। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone in this very auspicious morning, and I have been requested by our base managers Keshav Prabhu and Amiya Prabhu to hold some sessions quite regularly. So we decided that we'll be doing it once in a week, and our session will be short, interactive, and they have requested me to clear some basic points like discursal course and other things related to our philosophy. So I have decided to shoot these videos. So we'll make a around session of 6-7. We'll make a seminar of 6-7 sessions where I'll be discussing the basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So we are starting with the first session today, and the sessions will be in English, and we'll be giving small homework so that class, there should be some fruits coming out of the class. So my question to you is, what's the difference between rather I'll say why present youth are becoming attracted towards spirituality? What is the reason why youth are becoming attracted towards spirituality?
Because of more frustration.
Because they are frustrated, number one. Number two,
Because of stress and tension.
they are stressed and they are in depression. Okay.
They are getting happiness in this spiritual.
Yeah, because they are getting happiness in spiritual life. Okay.
They're getting right path.
They're getting right path. Good. They're getting good direction, good guidance. Okay. What more?
Good prasadam.
They're getting good prasadam. Wow.
So stay peaceful in life.
They're staying peaceful. Why people are becoming attracted? Especially youth are becoming attracted. They are getting motivated. What do you think? Why youth are becoming attracted towards spirituality presently? They're getting good knowledge. What is your viewpoint?
They are slowly getting to know the truth of life.
Getting to know the secrets and truth of life. Very good. Soumitra.
They are getting hopes for their better life.
They're getting?
Hopes for better life.
They're getting what?
Hope.
Hope for better life. Okay, fine, great, wonderful. Yeah, so that's true that people are becoming, and especially youth are becoming attracted towards spiritual life. And youth are becoming attracted towards spiritual life is one point, and youth are becoming attracted towards ISKCON. This is another point. Why people are becoming more attracted towards ISKCON? Although there are so many spiritual organizations and spiritual philosophy, but still we find that people are becoming more attracted towards ISKCON.
Philosophy is very nice.
Because the philosophy is very nice, and there is a culture. Okay. What more? What more?
Other organizations don't give such advantages as ISKCON
like library and base. Other organizations do not give such advantages. Fine. What more?
Good system for attracting.
Huh?
There is good system for attracting boys.
So ISKCON have a very good system for attracting boys and turning them into brahmacharis. A wonderful system. What more? So you all rightly said.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
youth nowadays, it is a trend that we are attracted towards West, but ISKCON is the blend of Western and Indian.
Wow, wonderful. So ISKCON is a blend of West and East. So West and East coming together. So this blend, like nowadays they have a blend. You know, different yoga systems have come up. Beer yoga. So while doing yoga postures, they drink beer. So West and East combination. Have you seen beer yoga? Yeah, haven't seen? You can Google it out. different things they're coming up with. The blend of East and West. So ISKCON is a perfect blend of East and West, and therefore people are becoming attracted. Yes. What more?
In this system, monks are very pure and knowledgeable.
Monks are pure. Yeah, monks are able to maintain their purity. That's very true. The other day I was at IIT Bhubaneswar with Amog Prabhu. So we were in one professor's house. So we were taking our dinner there. So Amol Prabhu was telling that so one particular Christian priest, Christian pastor, so he came up to him, Amol Prabhu, and said that how you monks in ISKCON maintain your purity, celibacy. So although these Christian priests are supposed to be celibates, but the fact is that they are not able to maintain their celibacy. So in ISKCON we find that monks are trying hard to maintain their purity. So yeah, so that attracts. Good, wonderful point. What more? So all these points are very wonderful points, and one point I would like to add that as you said, knowledge and culture. One is knowledge. Someone said the philosophy is very nice. Vikas said the philosophy is very nice. And then another thing is that the presentation of philosophy is very nice. Philosophy is nice, but the presentation of philosophy is even better. So that actually attracts the youth. It attracts not just youth, it attracts everyone. So the presentation of philosophy is the uniqueness of our culture, our system. So now, so up till today, like out of 7, there are 7 goals of ISKCON that has been written by Srila Prabhupada, and the first one is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge. So Prabhupada used this word, systematic propagation of spiritual knowledge. And because we are able to present it systematically, people have become attracted. You know, I'll give very simple example. When you were children, your parents must have told you, go to temple, offer obeisances, do some mantras. How many of you were really interested? Really interested? Really interested? Oh my God. We were not. When our parents used to say, do some mantras, go to temple, and I have seen like different, when we are preaching different colleges, you were really interested to do some mantras and pujas. I don't know how you people were interested. I was not, and like me, many youngsters were not. But when we came to ISKCON, we became interested. We started to chant, we started to offer obeisances, we started to follow brats, we started to follow Ekadashi and different things. We started to wear dhoti kurta. Why? So our parents were telling all these things, but we were not doing it. But when we came to ISKCON, we started doing it. What's the difference?
Because of association.
Because of association.
Because of knowledge.
Because of the right knowledge. We were having so many questions. So our parents were telling us, okay, you do this puja, you do this, you go to this temple and this and that. But when we were asking them questions, they were not able to give solid answers. And therefore, although we were doing it forcefully maybe, or maybe out of some desire, out of some motivation,
Pure.
but it was half-hearted. We could not give our heart to it. Why? Because our questions were not answered. But the moment we came to ISKCON, we started to realize that there are answers to the questions that we were carrying out. So therefore, this process has become more famous because we are getting answers to our questions. So therefore, now the point is, whatever sessions we hold, the first thing will come up that we need to understand the philosophy in a way that when it is required, we can preach it to others in a very systematic, logical, scientific and interesting manner. It must be systematic, it must be logical, it must be scientific. At the same time, it must be interesting. Our presentation should be interesting. So the goal of these sessions that we'll be holding in for few weeks, the purpose will be to understand certain philosophical points and to learn how to present it. Okay. So I'll take more 15 minutes for the first session today. So there are basic points that needs to get covered in one's spiritual understanding. And mind you, this philosophy is so systematic that you can challenge any other philosophy of this world. Whatever point that I'll be sharing today, there are so solid points that you can challenge any so-called guru, any so-called cult, any so-called spiritual organization, because whatever I'll be sharing today or in next few sessions, they are recommended by the scriptures. That knowledge is coming down in parampara, that has been testified and fructified. It's perfect. And therefore, when you'll be, if someone comes with a different outlook, you can very humbly, very intelligently, very logically, very even without entering into argument, you can simply convince that person. And this should be the USP of an ISKCON devotee. You know what is USP? Unique selling proposition. USP of ISKCON devotee must be, if somebody is coming to you, you can convince him quickly. But to convince others, the first thing is we need to become convinced with the perfect knowledge. So spiritual knowledge has basically two dimensions. Hardly anyone other than those are on the authentic path of Vaishnavism, hardly any one of them know this. Prabhupada writes in one of his purport in 4th chapter, spiritual knowledge have two dimensions. One is the knowledge of the self and another is knowledge of God. Spiritual knowledge have two dimensions, yet two branches. One is knowledge of the self, another is knowledge of God. Now you'll see most of the spiritual organization, they give some knowledge regarding self, some understanding. But as far as knowledge of God is concerned, they have zero understanding. And here is the point where we can challenge them. So knowledge of the self and knowledge of God. So these 2 points we need to understand, and we need to think about it, and we need to understand or learn how to present these points to others. Now coming to the core concept. See, if I'll ask you how to present something, how you'll present anything. It can be anything. It can be your academic topic, it can be a spiritual topic. If I'll ask you, so that you need to present a certain particular point, a particular topic, then what steps you need to take, or what is the easiest method to do that? So you are preparing for your NEET examinations, and you have been asked to explain the digestive system, say for example.
Before I will draw a diagram and theories, all the points, important points I will jot down. Then I will show by standing at the top position, that the people want to learn, hear me, so that they can see from the top view, have a proper view. Then I will start from the point where it starts.
Okay, good.
From mouth onwards to left.
Yeah. So now, what first thing you did? You made a mental plan. You made a mental plan regarding how to present a point, how to present a particular topic. Mental plan means first I'll explain this, and then I'll come to this point, and then I'll come to this point, then I'll come to this. And this is how, if you have say 5-7 points within your mind, you can easily present the topic. Yes or no? Similarly, when you to present spiritual knowledge to someone, you need to understand 5-7 points logically and strong points. You need to make a mental plan with those points, and wherever you stand you can present it. As I said, these sessions are not just for learning, it is to learn how to present the points, and this will be helpful in all your examinations, because this mental makeup, how to jolt those point and present them systematically, that is the art. So say for example, I'll give you today 3, 4, 5, 6 topics. Next session, one person will speak on those points. Okay, it's very simple. Whenever there is a presentation of spiritual knowledge, first thing we need to make people understand is, what is the first thing? I need to present a spiritual topic, I need to start a spiritual session or spiritual seminar, or I need to preach someone. What is the first thing that you will make him understand?
I need to use spirituality.
Why do we need spirituality? Okay, fine. So this can be one topic. Why do we need spirituality? So next session, be prepared, at least 5 points within your mind, strong points. Why is there need of spirituality? That is your homework. Just, you do not have to write anywhere. You can write the topics presently. Only you need to meditate upon 5 or 7 strong points. Strong points means it must not just be theoretical points. There must be practical explanations. There must be examples and analogies. That is how you give presentation. Say for example, quite recently, like I am going in different offices and corporates for asking some funds for making our yoga and meditation hall near IIT Bhubaneswar. So the one common thing that I am presenting everywhere is that quite recently a PhD scholar from IIT Madras has committed suicide, and just 3 days back a boy from CET Bhubaneswar has committed suicide. So it's not a very far thing, it's just 2 days back this incident happened. So you can quote that there is a need of spirituality because even IITians are committing suicide. Hence proof. There is a need of spirituality because the divorce rate in country is exceeding its limit. There is a need of spiritual knowledge because more and more youngsters are getting trapped into the drugs and alcohol, etc., and thus ruining their lives. And you can give certain statistical points. Without spirituality, we are harming ourselves. Without spirituality, we are harming our society. With spirituality, we are harming our country. Without spirituality, we are harming our environment. And you can jolt some strong points with certain statistics. So when you will be presenting your topics with statistics, what will happen? सामने वाले के पास कुछ पॉइंट ही नहीं बचेगा नहीं मानने के लिए. This is how you prepare your presentation. So one thing is, when you need to present spirituality, you need to tell the importance. Another thing, what is the most important thing that you need to present? If you are preaching someone, what is the basic thing that you need to present to that person?
Be a good speaker.
No, that is the quality. I am asking, question is clear. I am asking that if I need to preach someone, if I need to make someone aware of our philosophy, then what all points I need to make him understand in due. So today I met him and I need to make him a devotee. I need to impress him that he should accept Krishna consciousness, then what I need to explain him?
Giving the importance.
So importance is one thing that is done. Another thing, how I can start?
Make him to practice.
So for practicing, it requires some theoretical understanding. What all theoretical points I need to make him understand, or what are the theoretical points connected with our Krishna consciousness philosophy, that must be very clear within our mind. Wherever we will go, we should equip with ourselves with those weapons. जहाँ जाएं वो अस्त्र शस्त्र लेकर के जाएं, सीधे बम छोड़ना शुरू कर दें, बंदूक डालना शुरू कर दें. वो क्या क्या बंदूक, क्या क्या तीर होने चाहिए आपके तरकश में? I'll just tell 5-6 points and I'll end. And your homework is to, for each 5-6 point, you need to prepare 5-6 points within your mind. You need not have to write anywhere, but mental makeup. ये सबसे पहले आप किसी से मिले, जैसे मान लीजिए I have come across this person and I need to preach him. The first thing I'll tell him, there is a need of spirituality. He'll understand. Second thing I'll tell him, do you really believe in existence of God? So someone say, I believe, I'm not sure, I'm an atheist. So to start any conversation, because you want to bring him into Krishna consciousness, you need to tell him that Krishna is God. So first you need to make him understand God exists. So if you really want to become a good preacher, just learn these points. Tell him the importance of spiritual life, one thing. Then he'll say, okay, how can I begin? Then you give him a philosophical understanding. Tell him, does God really exist? Ask him. And you give 5, 6, 7 solid points. It may be your solid theoretical point, it may be some practical examples, it may be some videos that you can show him. You should have that collection ready in your mind. Say for example, if you came across someone, if you just tell him, does God really exist? And he'll say, I'm not sure. And then you tell him that every creation have a creator, every design have a designer, and you give practical examples. Just like we have computer programs, we have DNA. You tell him, from your field you can choose particular examples, and I can give you 100 examples. 100 practical examples to convince that God exists. If you are going to someone and if you can impress that person, you can make him understand that existence of God is a fact, it's a factual thing. Second, and God loves us. He's providing us so many things. You can give him practical examples that if there is no oxygen, if there is no sunlight, so what will be our situation? During COVID, oxygen was not available. For one cylinder of oxygen, we were paying 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 rupees. And so much oxygen is readily available to us. Then person will start to understand and start to realize that actually God is giving us things to serve our survival. He's giving us food, he's giving us water, he's giving us sunlight. So you can quote at least 10, 20, 50 examples that how God is actually taking care of us. कुछ लोग आंसर देते हैं, बोले भगवान होते हैं, मानते हैं? बोले हाँ मानता हूँ. क्या प्रमाण है? मुझे रात को सपने में आए. इससे बड़ा इलॉजिकल और मूर्खों वाला आंसर नहीं हो सकता. आप समझ रहे हैं? somebody is asking you God exists and you started with a presentation. Actually, I believe in existence of God. Okay, sir. So what are the proof, or how do you believe? Actually, I am feeling like this. What is the value of your feeling? You just always imagine if you are standing in the association, like in a public place where there are so many scientists, so many engineers, so many bureaucrats, and you need to make them understand. Will you tell like this? मेरा मानना ऐसा, I feel like this, I am feeling God is there. So will they take your proposition seriously? No. You need to present them certain practical, logical, strong points. And that is why our presentation is successful. Our presentation is more popular. बिकॉज ऐसी बातें कभी देखा है, इस्कॉन वाले ऐसे बात कर रहे हैं जा करके, मेरा मानना है कि भगवान होते हैं, हमें फील हो रहा है, रात को सपने में आए थे. कभी सुना किसी इस्कॉन के लेक्चर में ऐसा सुना? क्यों? आप बाहर में सुनो ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, बोर करते हैं, सामने वाला पसीने छोड़ रहा होता है, क्या ये कब खत्म करेगा? So why people like our presentation? Because it's logical. So whenever you come across anyone you need to preach, tell him existence of God and give 100, 5, 10, 20 points, whatever you can. So this is your homework. Before next session, make some points very clear in your mind. Second thing, make him understand that we owe to God. Like we must be grateful to God because God is providing us our needs. ऐसे कुछ पॉइंट्स आपको बताने हैं कि भगवान का अस्तित्व होता है, एट द सेम टाइम भगवान हमारे लिए कितना कुछ कर रहे हैं. थैंक यू बोलना चाहिए. आवर स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ बिगिंस विद ग्रेटिट्यूड. द मोमेंट विल स्टार्ट सेइंग थैंक यू गॉड, स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ शुरू हो गई. इतना कन्विंस कर दिया आपने, आधा स्पिरिचुअल वो हो गया. बहुत ज्यादा कन्विक्शन तो बाद में अपने आप आ जाएगा. शुरुआत कहां से करनी है? वो समझने लग जाए कि भगवान है और मेरे साथ है, मेरे लिए हैं. इतना सब समझ जाएगा व्यक्ति, वेरी इजीली ही विल अंडरस्टैंड नेक्स्ट पॉइंट्स. फिर उसके बाद ये 2 पॉइंट खत्म हो गए, फिर उसको आप धीरे से बताओगे भगवान होते. फिर भगवान एक व्यक्ति है, शक्ति. गॉड इज अ पर्सन और गॉड इज लाइट और एनर्जी. व्हाट डू यू थिंक? गॉड इज सम पर्सन और गॉड इज एनर्जी? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? गॉड इज पर्सन, गॉड इज सम एनर्जी? Huh? He's above it. Now what is he?
God is a person, but not like us.
हाँ, God is a person. Our philosophy rise in God is a person. So how God is a person? That we need to understand and explain. Third point will come. God is a person. He has some personal attributes. He is not just some impersonal light or energy. Impersonal light and energy is His energy. God is a person. God is an energetic person who has multifarious forms of energies. Should I give you very strong point? How God is a person and how God is not just energy? Very simple point. Is person controls energy or energy controls person?
Personal energy.
What do you think? Electrical engineer controls electrical energy or electrical energy controls electrical engineer?
Electrical engineer control electrical energy.
Electrical engineer controls electrical energy. He uses this electrical energy either for cooling or for heating. But who is using? Who is the master? Who is controlling? Person. That means who is superior? Person is superior or energy is superior? Person is superior. When you say God is energy, that means He is not superior. According to definition, God must be superior. God is a person. That is the first the understanding. God is a person. He may not be a person like us. There are differences. So first point that we make person understand, God exists. Second, God exists, number 1. Number 2, God loves us. He's giving us, He's providing for us. Third thing, God is a person. God is a person. There is a personal understanding of God. None of the religions other than Vaishnavism have this understanding God is a person. They have very vague understanding of God. Our philosophy has very complete understanding of God. God is a person, third thing. Then fourth thing, God is a person but not a person like us. He's a person but not a person like us. He's not a limited person like us. Limited in the sense, God is a person but omnipresent. God is a person but omnipotent. God is a person but omniscient. We are neither omnipresent nor omnipotent nor omniscient. And then you need to present 5, 7, 10 points. How God is a person at the same time, He is not a person like us. He is not a limited person like us. And then when you say God is a person, that means person must have a name, must have an identity. Then you will tell God has a name. He has His address. He has His phone number. What is the name of God?
Krishna.
What is His father's name? Father's name? आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तनया. God is Krishna. His father is Nanda.
Nanda.
His address is Vrindavan.
Vrindavan.
His contact number is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Prabhuji, why Nanda, not Vasudeva?
Huh? That we'll discuss later. Original father of Krishna is Nanda
Nanda.
and Yashoda. So God is a person, but not a person like us. Person means he has his identity. Then another question. Then people ask this question: God is a form or is formless? God is form or formless? Form. Why? Because a person he must have a form, but his form is not like ours. Again, our form is not eternal. Our form is not full of knowledge, not full of bliss. God is Satchidananda, Vigraha. Vigraha means form. He is a form, but his form is transcendental. His form is spiritual. His form is not made up of matter. Our form is made up of matter. So here is the difference. So you need to quote at least 10 examples. How God's form is. He appears like a human being. He appears like a small child. But that does not mean he is limited. He's a small child. He has a form. That form is Satchidanandamaya. He is not material form. God does not have bones and blood like us. There is a rascal theory, one very bogus theory. That when Lord Krishna died, killed by Jara, then after his Antim Sanskar, his heart was flowing from that ocean. It came here, and that heart is installed in Jagannath. It's all nonsense theory. Why? Because God does not have a physical form. So what is Antim Sanskar and what is killing? And then his heart coming. Do you think it's a logical theory?
No.
And what are the praman? Bhagavatam is the praman. Shastra is the praman. God has Satchidananda. Namami Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Satchidananda means that he does not have a material form. He does not have a material heart. He does not have a material bones. He does not have veins and blood like us. That means our biology doesn't work there. His form is Satchidanandamaya. He never grows old. You'll never find Krishna with mustache and beard and with lathi leke chal rahe hain. No. He's Satchidanandamaya. So these all points, when you'll make someone understand, he'll understand, oh, there is a difference between our philosophy and whatever it is going outside. So existence of God is a fact. God loves us. God is a person and not just energy. But God is not a person like us. God has his name, his identity. And lastly, we have our personal relationship with him. That we have forgotten, and because of that we are suffering here in this material world. And then question comes, then who are you? You are part and parcel of that God. Mame vancho jiva loke jiva. And what you are doing here, then another chapter starts. So these points, if you can understand systematically and present it systematically, then your philosophy becomes very strong and solid. People do not have understanding that God has a personal understanding. People do not have this understanding that God have personal relationship. People do not have this understanding that God may have form, a transcendental spiritual form. And because they are lacking this understanding, their so-called spirituality is just vague. It's all absurd. They do not have. I'll give one example. Have you seen in Western concept how they show God? Greek concept, Western concept, Latin concept. God is someone sitting on a throne, big beard, always angry. जैसे कुछ गलती करोगे उठा के बम फेंक देंगे. नहीं देखा आप? Have you seen like pictures like this? That means their understanding of God is a judge. जहन्नम भेजेंगे, जन्नत भेजेंगे, है ना? वो क्या अंतिम समय फैसला होगा? कौन फैसला करेगा? गॉड फैसला, अल्लाह फैसला करेंगे. So God is just, they have made God means just judge. ही इज ऑलवेज जजिंग कि क्या गलती कर रहे हो, और जैसे तुम कोई गलती करते पाएगा उनके पास कोई ऐसा अस्त्र होता है, पीछे से थाप से मारेंगे. That is their understanding. It's not a perfect understanding. Our understanding of God is far better. So different theologies have different understanding, but our theology is far better. How it is far better? I'll give one point and finish my presentation today. Let there be an elephant. Isn't this story from Panchatantra? You know Panchatantra? Vishnu Sharma Panchatantra. This story appears in Panchatantra. There is a big elephant, and there are 6 blind men, and these 6 blind men are ascertaining what an elephant is. So someone is touching the trunk of an elephant, the body of an elephant. Somebody is touching the teeth of the elephant. Somebody is saying teeth, that means elephant is just like an arrow. Somebody is holding the leg of an elephant. Elephant is just like the tree trunk. Somebody is touching the body of the elephant, saying elephant is just like a wall. So these 6 people, now they are sitting together. They are 6 blind men. They're sitting together, holding conferences and trying to ascertain that what exactly elephant is. What is the probability they'll come to right understanding? What is the probability they'll come to right understanding? Can this any time come to right understanding? उनके बीच में सुलह कभी हो पाएगी? झगड़ा करेंगे. तो ऐसे ही चलता है. हम देखते हैं मुस्लिम, हिंदू, दिस दैट, झगड़ा चल रहा है. गॉड ऐसे, गॉड ऐसे, इसको फेंक के मार रहे हैं, उसको फेंक के मार रहे हैं. कोई काम नहीं तो बम ही फेंक दे रहे हैं. कोई जय श्री राम के नारे लगा रहा है, तलवार लेके चल रहा है. तलवार लेके चल रहा है, हिम्मत नहीं है किसी काटने की. खून में दम नहीं है इतना. क्यों? Because when you do not have the right understanding of spirituality, you do not have right understanding of God, then you whatever is speculation.
What we are following now, it can be the one of the blind men.
These 6 blind men, they can never come to the conclusion that what exactly an elephant looks like. Then what he needs to do? What these 6 men needs to do if they really want to get perfect knowledge?
They need to hear from normal.
They need to hear from a person who is not blind, who has seen the truth. And that is what Bhagavad Gita says. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashna sevya obdekshanti te jnanam jnanas tattva darshinaha. Tattva darshina, they have seen the truth. Approach to that spiritual master, self-realized soul who is coming in parampara. Pranipatena, submissively, you become submissive to the person. Pariprashna, ask him, become curious and serve him. Sevaya, obdekshanti te jnanam, they will give you the right guidance because they have seen the truth. Jnanas tattva darshinaha, they have seen the truth. They have seen the elephant. They'll tell you elephant is, and when you will hear from that person, then what will happen? You will able to understand what these 6 people were saying. It was not false, it was partially true. And now they can able to ascertain. Therefore, when you understand Krishna conscious philosophy, you will understand whatever it is written in Bible is true. Whatever it is written in Quran is true. Whatever it is written in Veda is true. But here was the missing link. Now all the dots have been connected. Perfect understanding. It will only come when you listen it from a self-realized spiritual master who is coming down in parampara. And that is the beauty of our understanding. We are not speculators because our knowledge is coming down in parampara. Right from this knowledge was imparted to the first living entity of this creation, Brahma. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavai. And then Brahma gave this knowledge coming down succession, coming down. And this is how we are receiving this knowledge. And therefore this knowledge is not speculation. There are 2 ways to ascertain knowledge. One is ascending way, another is descending way. Ascending way means you speculate, you experiment. But if, say for example, I need to find out who is the father of Mr. Surya, with the ascending way, then what I need to do? I need to take his DNA, and I have to take DNA of n number of people, because I don't know who is his father, and then I'll match the DNA. And what is the technique called? Where there are different strands coming together. PCR. What is that?
PCR.
No, it's not PCR. It's
DNA fingerprinting.
Haven't you studied biology? Polymerase chain? No, it's not electrophoresis. Huh? Not electrophoresis. Is it electrophoresis?
Gene electrophoresis.
Oh yeah. So when in that different strands come together, I have forgotten because I was the student of biotechnology. Anyway, I forgot everything. So it strands come together and then finally our DNA is matching. But is it very practical? Can you do it? There are n number of people and there is always probability. So ascending way of understanding things are not very practical. Then what do you need to do? What you will do? You'll ask his mother, and who is his father? And she'll say he is his father. Finished. So another, like different theologies, they have ascending way to understand God. They speculate. God may be like this, God may be like that, God may be like that. Another, I'll give you another example. The other day I was hearing one short. So one Muslim preacher was telling that God cannot come on earth. He said, why? Because if God will come to earth, say for example, God will come to some mountain. So mountain is limited. And this unlimited God will come to this limited, so he will also become limited. But God cannot be limited. I said, you are a fool number one. I was just thinking. Why? Because the definition of God according to the Vedas is, he is bigger than the biggest, at the same time smaller than the smallest. Anor Aniya Mahatomaya. Here's the paradox. Most powerful means what? He can be bigger than the biggest at the same time.
Smaller than the
When you say God cannot be smaller than the smallest, that means God cannot be. God cannot be. When you say God does not have form, because forms limit him, that means God cannot possess a form. That means cannot means he's not Purna. But our understanding God is Purna, Purna Mada, Purna Midam, Purna Purna Mudachyate. He is Purna. So that means their theology have some understanding of God, but it's not perfect. Our understanding is God may be appearing like a limited person, but he is not limited. When Narad Muni saw Krishna in 16,108 homes, he was completely bewildered. Same Krishna in everywhere. Is it very difficult to understand? If that same God can be within the heart of millions of living entities, if he is manifesting himself in 16,000 homes, what's the big deal? So therefore, our theology is perfect. Why? Because we are able to understand God in a more closer view. Why? Because this knowledge is coming down in succession, parampara. This is descending way of getting knowledge. You cannot ascertain God by your speculation or experiment. It's out of our range. God is called Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja means Adhakshaja, which means who is beyond the range of our mind and senses. God is out the range of our mind and senses. We cannot even reach him with our mind and senses. But if he wants to descend in the form of holy name, in the form of Vigraha, in the form of his personal appearance, he can come. So all these points we need, we will be covering in our future sessions. But the homework is these 5-6 points. You need, every one of you, just make it a point that you have solid points. So next session will be asking you, does God exist? You need to present 5-6 solid points. Yes, here are the facts. God exists. God is a person. Here are the 5-6 facts. God is not a person like us. Here are the 5-6 facts. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So रुक जाओ. कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी के मन में, कोई जिज्ञासा इससे संबंधित?
God omnipresent.
Yes, omnipresent. But see, God is omnipresent means when you see Krishna standing here, so is not Krishna standing there?
Yes.
Yes. But you are sitting here. Are you sitting there?
No.
No. So that means God is
You can install
omnipresent. Huh?
कैमरा इंस्टॉल करते हैं,
कैमरा इंस्टॉल करने से क्या होगा?
नजर रख सकते हैं.
रियलिटी नहीं है ना.
कौन? हम रख सकते हैं. कितनी नजर रख सकते हैं? कितने कैमरा इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं? गॉड की नजर कितनी जानते हैं? अंडाणु अंतरस्थ परमाणु च अंतरस्थम. ही इज प्रेजेंट इन ईच एंड एवरी एटम एंड मॉलिक्यूल. हाउ मच यू कैन एक्सटेंड योरसेल्फ?
ये भी प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है ना, एक जगह पे नहीं और दूसरी जगह पे कर नहीं सकते.
How much, what limitation do we have? God means he's omnipresent. What do you mean by omnipresent? Everywhere. Everywhere means everywhere.
आनंद.
You cannot think where he's not. But at the same time, personally he may be present somewhere. Another example can be given that the water vapor is everywhere. But still, if you want to drink the water, it has to be in condensed form within your bottle. So God is everywhere. It's just a fact. but still God acts in a personal way. So that understanding other theologians are missing. So they have understanding that God is everywhere, but at the same time He can be personalized. That paradox they are not able to understand. This is, what do you mean by the paradox? Paradox, you do know the meaning of the word paradox? Paradox means it's opposite, within. गीला है लेकिन सूखा है, सबसे बड़ा लेकिन सबसे छोटा है, सबसे दूर है लेकिन सबसे पास है. इसको कहते हैं पैराडॉक्स. मतलब विभिन्न बात एक जगह पे आके फंस जाए, उसको कहते हैं पैराडॉक्स. तो गॉड मीन्स परफेक्ट पैराडॉक्स. मीन्स ही इज कंट्रोलिंग एवरीवन, including Lord Brahma and Shiva, but he is being controlled by the love of his devotees. Is it not the paradox? He is the controller of the entire cosmos, but he is being controlled by the love of his devotees. This is called paradox. So these paradoxical understanding makes our theology more perfect. Okay, difficult to ascertain. Anything else?
वो एनर्जी भी अपने आप कुछ कर नहीं सकता एक पर्सन जब नहीं करेगा.
Energy means energy. Energetic person uses that energy to get something done. Lord uses his energy, Kriya Shakti, Lila Shakti. He uses his energy to get things done.
Inside Jagannath Mandir, after a certain period of time, they celebrate Navakalabra and they install a Brahma Padarth inside Jagannath Prabhu. So often people say it is radioactive and if we touch it then the hand will burn and much more saying. So what is actually that Brahma Padarth?
I don't know much about that particular thing, but see, I'll just give one example. This was an incident, I think in 2015 or so. So we were at Mayapur and this became very famous incidents. So His Holiness Jai Pataka Maharaj was doing kirtan, and then the Gaur Nitai Panchatattva, they started to cry. Then everybody could see that Gaur Nitai is crying, the tears were coming out. But then what ISKCON authorities did, they did not started to preach like, Gaur Nitai started to cry and this and that, because if you will present like this, intelligent people will run away from us. But it is a fact that thousands and thousands of people, including I was also there, thousand people could see that Gaur Nitai was literally crying. This has been recorded in videos, you can find it out. But our ISKCON authorities like Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, there is in Pune, so he is a very scholarly person. So he said that it was because of moisture or because of thing and this and that, and it was appearing like Gaur Nitai was crying. He could have said, or any ISKCON member could have said, Gaur Nitai was actually crying. But why did not preach like that? Because you need to prove God is God, you need not have to prove that He is doing miracles. पूरी मंदिर का झंडा उल्टा बहता है इसलिए जगन्नाथ भगवान है. अरे जगन्नाथ भगवान है, पूरी मंदिर का झंडा कैसे भी बहे. अब समझ रहे ना, चक्र हर जगह से सीधा दिखता है, ऐसा होता नहीं. मेरा फोटो है, ऐसा सीधा नहीं दिखता, तिरछा भी दिखता है. मैं फोटो दिखा दूंगा, देखिए मैं डाली थी. लेकिन कोई बोलता है कि जगन्नाथ जी में मिरेकल्स होते हैं. क्यों मिरेकल होते हैं? इससे प्रूव होता है जगन्नाथ भगवान है. ये तो मिरेकल से प्रूव करें कि भगवान है. मतलब मिरेकल नहीं करें तो भगवान नहीं है. भगवान है, ये सिद्धांत प्रूव, ये फिलॉसफी से प्रूव करिए. जादू दिखा करके साईं बाबा करके शिवलिंग निकाल देते भगवान हो गए, वो ऐसे भभूत निकाल देगा तो भगवान हो गए. तो जादू से भगवान इतने सस्ते हैं कि हमको जादू की जरूरत लगेगी भगवान को भगवान प्रूव करने के लिए. मतलब सूर्य को प्रूव करने के लिए हमें अगरबत्ती दिखानी पड़ेगी कि मोमबत्ती दिखाकर हम प्रूव करेंगे सूर्य. तो मिरेकल से भगवान को भगवान प्रूव करना ये सस्ते लोगों का काम है. अगर हम बोलेंगे कि देखो गौर निताई रोने लग गए, इसका मतलब साक्षात भगवान है, तो क्या हमको मिरेकल की जरूरत है? हमारी फिलॉसफी इतनी कमजोर है, समझ रहे हैं? अगर हमारा दर्शन, हमारी फिलॉसफी इतनी कमजोर है, आर वी सो वीक दैट वी नीड टू हैव मिरेकल्स टू प्रूव दैट गॉड एग्जिस्ट. अरे ये मिरेकल नहीं है कि भगवान ये छोड़िए मिरेकल, भगवान पत्थर को पानी में तैरा दिए, कौन सी बड़ी बात हो गई? जो अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांडों को तैरा देता है, इतने प्लैनेट्स को तैरा दिया, वो पत्थर को पानी में तैरा, कौन सी बड़ी बात हो गई? तो गॉड को गॉड बोलने के लिए मिरेकल की थोड़ी जरूरत है, तो इसलिए फिलॉसफी जानना चाहिए। तो यही अंतर है नॉर्मल सनातन धर्म में। मैं कल देखा ऐसे शॉर्ट्स देने वाले इतने बेवकूफ बनाते हैं, उसको एक शंख रखा, उसका फूल रखा, तो शंख के अट्रैक्शन से फूल खिल गया, तो कह रहे सनातन। अरे तो सनातन में क्या यही बचा है अब? मतलब इतना सस्ता सनातन, आप समझ रहे? मतलब आपको फिलॉसफी कुछ नहीं है ना, ऐसे कुछ थोड़ा जादू टोरा दिखा करके हम सनातनी है। अरे तो ये इतनी सस्ती चीज नहीं। देयरफॉर हम इस तरह की हरकतों से दूर रहते हैं। कभी भी अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में कभी नहीं बोलूंगा मैं इस तरह जगन्नाथ जी के मंदिर के मिरेकल। तो मिरेकल कुछ भी नहीं है, कॉमन सेंस है। मिथ, ये तो मिथ। अब वो बोलते हैं कि ऊपर वाला सबसे पहले पकता है, नीचे वाला बाद में पकता है। वही रखा कैसे देखा आप लोगों ने? कभी देखा कैसे पॉट रखा जाता है? देखिए वो कंसेंट्रिक सर्कल्स अंदर 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 करके ऐसे पॉट रखते हैं। सबसे ज्यादा फ्लेम किसको मिलता है? सबसे ऊपर वाले को। तो सबसे ऊपर वाला पहले पकता है। ऐसे नहीं रखते कि एक मटका रखा, उसके ऊपर दूसरा रख दिया, उसको तीसरा रख दिया, नीचे से आग लगा दी। ऐसा नहीं होता है। आप देखिए कैसा होता है, क्योंकि डिजाइन है तो कॉमन सेंस है। इसको लगा करके जगन्नाथ भगवान है। सर जगन्नाथ तो वैसे ही भगवान है भाई। तुम्हारा कौन सा पॉट पहले पकेगा, इससे प्रूव होगा जगन्नाथ भगवान है। सस्ती चीज क्यों भाई? सस्ती चीज क्यों? क्योंकि शास्त्र पढ़ते नहीं है, फिलॉसफी जानते नहीं है, गीता भागवत पढ़नी नहीं है, परंपरा में ज्ञान लेना नहीं है। तो झंडा ऊंचा उल्टा बहने से ये प्रूव करते कि भगवान जगन्नाथ जी हैं। ये चीज से मतलब ये जब बात होती है सिस्टमेटिकली प्रोपोगेट स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज, मतलब यही बात है कि ये सब चीजों से प्रूव मत करिए। इसलिए बोल रहा हूं, जब आप प्रेजेंटेशन देंगे भगवान होते ही मत बोलिए मुझे अंदर से फील आता है। इस तरह का आर्गुमेंट नहीं देना चाहिए। प्रैक्टिकल, लॉजिकल, साइंटिफिक आर्गुमेंट देना चाहिए। यही मैं आज ये हमारे प्रेजेंटेशन का यही पर्पस है। ठीक है, आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड। उसके ऊपर से पंछी नहीं बह जाते। अरे तो भाई उसका वास्तुशास्त्र का डिजाइन है। वास्तुशास्त्र लॉजिक है। वास्तुशास्त्र के डिजाइन में ऐसा होता है कि कौन से एंगल पे रखोगे। देखो तिरुपति ये जो देयर आर वास्तुशास्त्र एक्सपर्ट्स एंड दे स्टडी द आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ जगन्नाथपुरी टेम्पल, तिरुपति टेम्पल, रंगनाथ टेम्पल। एंड देखिए कुछ टेम्पल पे हमेशा मुस्लिम्स ने अटैक किया और कुछ को कुछ नहीं कर पाए बिकॉज ऑफ देयर वास्तुशास्त्र। कुछ वास्तुशास्त्र इतने ऐसे स्पेसिफिक होते हैं कि उसमें लक्ष्मी आती ही है, जैसे तिरुपति टेम्पल। तो जो भी अगर मतलब लक्ष्मी मतलब बिजनेस चलाने के लिए, लक्ष्मी के लिए जो भी वास्तुशास्त्र डिजाइन किया था वो तिरुपति को स्टडी किया जाता है उसके लिए, क्योंकि इट इज डिजाइन इन सच अ वे। इस्कॉन टेम्पल के वास्तुशास्त्र प्रीचिंग ओरिएंटेड डिजाइन होता है कि कैसे करेंगे तो लोग आएंगे, फुटफॉल ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा और ज़्यादा लोग कन्विंस होंगे। इस्कॉन टेम्पल डिजाइन इन सच अ वे, वो वास्तुशास्त्र है। ये साइंस है, एस्ट्रोलॉजी एक साइंस है, ये वेदों का पार्ट है। पर इससे प्रूव नहीं करना है कि भगवान होते हैं। भाई भगवान के लिए ये तो भाई बहुत छोटी चीज हो गई। ऊपर से पंछी नहीं उड़ते हैं तो ये तो बहुत छोटी चीज हो गई। राष्ट्रपति भवन से ऊपर से भी फ्लाइट नहीं उड़ती है तो क्या हो? ये स्मॉल थिंग्स, नॉट अ बिग थिंग। बिग थिंग क्या है? शास्त्र ज्ञान, फिलॉसफी, दर्शन। ये है बड़ी चीज। ये बड़ी चीज समझना चाहिए और यही बड़ी चीज प्रेजेंट करना चाहिए। ठीक है ना? और कुछ? ओमनिसेंट में सर्वज्ञ, ऑल कॉग्निजेंट, जो सब कुछ जानते हैं, उन्हें बताने नहीं पड़ता। उन भागवतम में एक श्लोक आया है, फर्स्ट श्लोक में अभिज्ञ स्वराट। अभिज्ञ मतलब कॉग्निजेंट, सर्वज्ञ, और स्वराट मतलब इंडिपेंडेंट। उनका ज्ञान गूगल के ऊपर निर्भर नहीं है। भगवान को कुछ ज्ञान देने के लिए गूगल नहीं करना पड़ता। भगवान किसी से सुनकर ज्ञान नहीं देते उनको, उनका ज्ञान स्वाभाविक है, स्वराट है, वो इंडिपेंडेंट है ज्ञान के लिए। हम लोग ज्ञान के लिए डिपेंडेंट है, किताबों के ऊपर, टीचर्स के ऊपर, गूगल के ऊपर। अभिज्ञ स्वराट, तो अभिज्ञ के अभी मतलब ओमनी सिएंट, और दूसरा वर्ड क्या होता है? ऑल कॉग्निजेंट। सुना है वर्ड कॉग्निजेंट? कंपनी का नाम है कॉग्निजेंट। कॉग्निजेंट शब्द का अर्थ क्या होता है? सर्वज्ञ, सब कुछ जानने वाला। ठीक है।
omnipotent है उनके
ओमनीपोटेंट मतलब सर्वशक्तिमान और पावरफुल। ओमनीपोटेंट, ओमनी प्रेजेंट। विष्णु मतलब जो हर जगह बस सकता है, हर जगह रहते हैं, सर्वज्ञ, सर्वत्र विद्यमान, ओमनी प्रेजेंट। और कुछ? हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।